Have you ever found yourself standing in front of an open fridge late at night? You know you're not actually hungry, but you just can't fight that urge to grab a snack. Well, it turns out that powerful craving might have way less to do with your willpower and everything to do with a secret clock ticking away inside your body. So what is this clock, and how is it totally hijacking your evening plans? Let's dive in.
First things first, if you're battling the late-night munchies, trust me, you are not alone. It's a super common thing. You've had a long day, you've eaten your meals, but then, right as you're trying to wind down, that urge to snack just kicks in, and suddenly you're eating a lot more than your body actually needs.
So what's the deal? Why does that bowl of ice cream or that bag of chips feel completely irresistible at 10 or 11 p.m.? It can seriously feel like you've lost all control, like it's a battle you're just doomed to lose every single night. But what if I told you the fight isn't about self-control at all?
Let's just completely reframe this whole thing. That powerful urge to eat late at night is not a personal failing, it is not a weakness, it's actually a biological signal that's just gotten its wires crossed. We're going to dig into how these ancient, powerful rhythms inside of you are the real force behind those cravings.
Okay, to really get what's going on, you need to meet the conductor of your body's daily performance, your internal clock. Seriously, think of your body as this huge, complex orchestra. Every organ, every system has to play in perfect harmony to create the beautiful music of, well, you being healthy and alive. And this whole orchestra is led by your circadian rhythm. So what is that? Basically, it's your body's built-in 24-hour clock. It's the master timekeeper that tells you when to sleep, when to wake up, when to release hormones, and, this is the big one for us, when to fire up or slow down your metabolism. It runs everything. But here's where it gets really interesting. You don't just have one clock. You've got a master clock up in your brain. That's the conductor, and it sets its watch by daylight. But then you have all these peripheral clocks in your organs, like your liver and your stomach. They're the musicians in the orchestra, and they take their cues from when you eat. And when the conductor and the musicians are on totally different schedules, you get pure chaos. And this is the problem right here in a nutshell. When your brain's master clock is winding down for the night, getting the whole body ready for rest and repair, eating a big meal is like the drum section suddenly launching into a wild, noisy solo during a quiet lullaby. It sends a totally confusing message, and the whole performance just falls apart.
So, what happens when this chaos isn't a one-time thing, but your regular routine? Well, the scientific fallout is pretty serious, and it's directly tied to why so many of us struggle with managing our weight. Let's look at the hard evidence.
You see, when our sleep gets all messed up, our appetite hormones go completely haywire. Ghrelin, that's the hormone that basically screams, "I'm hungry, feed me!" It skyrockets. At the very same time, leptin, the hormone that politely says, "Okay, we're full now," just plummets. This creates an absolute perfect storm where you feel way hungrier and you need to eat more just to feel satisfied.
And this hormonal mess has a real impact. Research from the Mayo Clinic found that when people were sleep restricted, they ended up eating, on average, over 300 extra calories every single day, and they didn't even realize it. Their bodies were just screaming for more fuel at all the wrong times.
So where do all those extra calories end up? Well, that same study showed that not getting enough sleep led to a 9% increase in total belly fat, and even more worrying, an 11% jump in visceral fat. Now that's the really dangerous stuff that wraps around your internal organs. It is a direct result of that clock being out of sync. And on top of all that, your body just isn't built to process food efficiently at night. There's this thing called the thermic effect of food, which is just the energy your body burns digesting a meal. Well, that effect is way lower in the evening. This means the exact same meal eaten at 8 p.m. will lead to fewer calories burned and more stored as fat than if you ate it at 8 a.m.
You know, this isn't just theory. We see it happening in the real world all the time. Just look at shift workers. Nurses, for example, who constantly have to override their natural sleep-wake cycles, have much higher rates of obesity and metabolic problems. It's a clear, direct link between disrupting your body's clock and your long-term health.
Okay, so that was the problem. But here is the really good news. You can absolutely take back control. And it's not about some miserable, punishing diet. It's about being clever and resyncing your body's clocks. So let's get into some real strategies you can use. First up, let's talk about your mind and your environment. Are you eating late at night because you're stressed, or maybe just bored? Try swapping that snack for a relaxation technique, like meditation or even just a hot bath. Dim the lights in the evening. That helps your brain make the sleepy hormone, melatonin. And get this, sleeping in a cooler room, right around 66 degrees Fahrenheit or 19 Celsius, can actually help boost your metabolism while you sleep.
All right, next, let's talk food strategy. The key here is not to starve yourself. Step 1 is simply to eat regular, solid meals throughout the day so you don't become absolutely ravenous at night. And step 2, which is a game changer, is to make sure you include a good source of protein with every single one of those meals.
And just look at the difference that makes. One study found that by simply bumping up their protein intake, people reduced their cravings by a whopping 60%, and they cut their desire to snack at night in half. Protein is just so powerful because it keeps you feeling full and satisfied for way longer.
Now, a really simple but profound way to put this all together is to try something called time-restricted eating. Now, this isn't about what you eat, it's all about when you eat. By trying to fit all your meals into, say, an 8 to 12-hour window during the daytime, you give your digestive system a nice long rest overnight, which perfectly aligns your eating schedule with your body's natural rhythm.
So what does this all add up to? It's really a whole new way of looking at health. It's not just about counting calories. It's about timing. It's about rhythm. It's about actually listening to the deep, biological cycles that are running the show inside your body.
You know, when it comes right down to it, it's all about alignment. Syncing up your eating and your sleeping with the natural rhythm of the sun. That's not just another diet fad. It's about having a real, respectful conversation with your body. It's about working with its internal orchestra to create harmony instead of constantly forcing it to play out of tune.
And that kind of leads us with one final thought. You don't have to change everything all at once. So just ask yourself this. What is one small change you can make starting tonight to begin honoring your body's natural rhythm?